Today, we are going to talk about the top 10 trick-taking games. But remember, if you like the videos on this channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below, and remember, click that bell for notifications. Here we go. So a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to be on the Dice Tower, and I did a top 10 trick-taking game segment with Tom and Z. So you're welcome to go check that out as well. However, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it right here, so that way you can see my individual picks. Well, here we go with number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Fox in the Forest. Now, Fox in the Forest is specifically designed for only 2 players. It's a wonderful trick-taking game where you have to be careful about what you play because all of the odd cards, the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, all have special abilities. So you need to make sure when you play your card, you know exactly what you're playing because it could trigger a certain ability. And the other interesting thing about Fox in the Forest is you're going to have to decide as you're playing how many tricks you're going to take. Because if you take too many, you're going to get penalized. And if you take not enough, you'll get penalized as well. It's a really interesting game, a lot of good back and forth, and I think you're really going to enjoy Fox in the Forest. Coming in at number 9 is Pikoko. Now, Pikoko looks absolutely fantastic when it's out on the table. It is a great trick-taking game with a very interesting dynamic because you don't play cards out of your own hand. You're actually playing cards from the other player's peacock, which is really interesting. And you're also getting to bid on how well you think other players will do, whether or not they'll make their contracts. You can put secret bids in. It's got a whole bunch of little things going on, and it's just so unique that I think you'll find it very interesting. So it comes in at number 9 for me, and that is Pikoko. Coming in at number 9 is a wonderful game by Mike Fitzgerald, and that is Diamonds. Now, Diamonds is also another unique trick-taking game in the aspect that you have a player screen and you're keeping your points hidden. So people aren't quite sure how many diamonds or rubies, in that matter, you may be collecting during the game. But what's so unique about this is when you play, even though you don't win the trick, you're able to take an action depending on what suit you play. And you're going to go ahead and you're either going to place the rubies or diamonds in front of your vault or behind your vault, because behind, of course, are going to be worth more. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. There's a whole lot of good fun to have in the game of Diamonds. The next game on my list, coming in at number 7, is the first of a few classic trick-taking games. Now, when I say classic, I mean out of a regular deck of cards. That is Pinochle. Now, Pinochle is an old classic played by people for many, many years. It's one of those games that I was a little late to the game getting to play it, but once I did, man, I really loved Pinochle. Now, Pinochle is sort of a 2-layer game because of the first part, you're bidding on actually what you can make in your hand. You can make the melding part, right? You can make P-knuckles, you can have marriages, runs. It has different kind of things you can do as you're playing. And then you can also bid on the actual playing of the cards where the trick-taking aspect comes in. So it's like 2 levels combined, and it's just really, really unique. It's another trick-taking game that I love. Coming in at number 7 is Pinochle. Coming in at number 6, Kaskariet. Now, I hope I'm saying that right, and I apologize if my German isn't perfect. However, they have reprinted the game, and it will now be coming out as Dealt. Now, the thing that is unique about this trick-taking game is you can shuffle the cards, deal them out, but when they're picked up in your hand, you cannot rearrange the order of the cards. So that means you have to play cards from your hand where they are. So if you have, like, say, a 6, a 2, a 7, and an 8, for example, 6, 7, and 8 for a run, but there's a 6, 2, 7, and 8, you need to take the 2 out and play it sometime. So that way now the 6, 7, and 8 will be together. And you also have 2 cards in front of you that you can play anytime during your turn to take in your hand that are considered like outs. But it's such a unique trick-taking game, and it's quick too. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm sure you'll enjoy Kaskadiet. Coming in at number 5 is another classic trick-taking game. Not that old, however. I believe it was invented in 1967 by David Parley. He was also the designer of the very first Spiel des Jahres winner, The Hare and the Tortoise. 99 is made out of a regular deck of cards, like I said. However, you eliminate the 2, 3, 4, and 5 and just play with the remaining cards. It was specifically designed as a 3-player game. However, there are variants made for other player counts. The really unique thing about this game is when you take your 12 cards, or when you're dealt your 12 cards, because it's only played with a 36-card deck, you need to take 3 cards out of your hand that will make up your bid for that round. In other words, how many tricks you think you're going to take. Here's the catch. Each suit has a value. Diamonds are 0, spades are 1, hearts are 2, and clubs are 3. Now what that means is, out of the 12 cards in your hand, if you got rid of, say, 3 diamonds, that means you are bidding 0, because diamonds are value 0. If you got rid of 3 clubs, that means you're taking 9 tricks, because each club is 3. And that would be kind of pretty hard to do. The unique thing about it is you may need to break up a good hand in order to make your bid, because you must, and I mean must, put 3 cards down to make your bid. So it really makes you think exactly what you should bid, because what you bid may not necessarily be what you want to bid, but what you have to bid because of what you have to put down. So if you have the chance, check that out. That is 99. Coming in at number 4 is another classic card game that I'm sure you've all played, because it's one of those original games that came on the old computer systems when you had some spare time at work. That's right. That is Hearts. Now, Hearts is a game I play an awful lot on the internet, probably more than I should, but I do play it a lot, and I absolutely love it. It's a solitaire game in the fact that you're playing by yourself. I should say solo game, because, or it could be partnerships. I have played partners too. And the unique thing about Hearts is, as you're passing cards each round, 3 cards either to the left, across, right, or you're going to hold. The object of Hearts is to either take no points or all of the points. Now, in Hearts, each heart is worth a point. Pretty self-explanatory. The other card, the Queen of Spades, is worth 13 points. So you can see, if you ever get the Queen of Spades or drop it on somebody else, that's a big old 13 points. Or if you take all of the hearts and the Queen of Spades, shooting the moon, everybody else gets 26 points, which is pretty big. So it's a great game, and I'm sure you've all played it a lot on the computer. However, when you're playing with real people, it's going to take that game and make it into a whole nother level. So go ahead and give it a try with some real people. You're going to love Hearts. Coming in at number 3 is a variant of one of the most popular card games in the world. Now, the reason I'm saying in the world, because it's really popular in China. If there are 1 billion people in China, then 800 million of them literally play this game and love it. That is Big 2. And Big 2 is played out of a classic deck of 52 cards. However, my number 3 is based on Big 2, and that is Tishu. Now, Tishu is, as I said, based on Big 2, and it is a climbing and shedding game. Now, what that means is climbing because you have to progressively go higher as you play to the table each round. For example, if I play a pair of 2s, then the next person has to play either a pair of 3s or higher. The shedding is because you want to be the first person to get rid of all your cards. Now, what differentiates it from Big 2 are the 4 special cards. That is the 1 or the bird, which you have to play first if you have it. It's like a 1 or, play first. It also has the dog, which passes the play over to your partner. It has the dragon, which is the highest single card in the deck. And it also has the phoenix, which is a wild card. It's really, really unique, primarily played as a partnership game. However, there are variants, but it's really not good, in my opinion, for any other counts. It should be strictly a partner game. So if you ever have the chance, go ahead. You can just play Big 2 out of a regular deck of cards, or pick up its little cousin, Tishu, and give that a try. Coming in at number 2 is the Spiel des Jahres winner this year. Again, my German's not that great. But anyway, it won Game of the Year, and that is The Crew. Now, The Crew is a fully cooperative trick-taking game. It has 50 missions in the game, and you start at 1 and you try to get your way up. Now, of course, you're not going to play them all in one night because they're all varying levels, but it's really, really cool because the game is sort of made to teach you how to play trick-taking games. So mission number 1 is very simple. You take 1 card. You all work cooperatively to do it, but that's all you have to do. And then each mission gets progressively harder, throwing a little bit more at you. There's different ways to communicate. There's different ways players have to go first and second and all that kind of stuff. But this has hit the board game world like a storm. I cannot say enough about the game. I really think you should pick it up, and you're going to love it whether you play with 2, 3, or 4 people. Plays good with all counts. You're gonna love The Crew. Coming in at number 1, and I feel is the undisputed queen or king or whatever you want to say of trick-taking games. That is Bridge. That's right. Bridge is the Cadillac, Mercedes, whatever you want to say, the Mount Everest of trick-taking games. I mean, think about it, right? You go into Barnes & Noble's, libraries, they got books, dozens, shelves full of books on Bridge. Why? Because it is that fantastic. Now, Bridge, of course, is a classic trick-taking game. Now, I will say that Bridge isn't one of those games you're just going to pull out and play, because there are conventions. What conventions are bids. When you say something, that means something. Well, let me give you an example. If I were just to bid 1 no trump, depending on what system you're playing, that means I have 15 to 17 high card points. I do not have a 5-card major. I do not have a singleton or void, and my hand is balanced. And because of the conventions, I have always wondered why more gamers, people who are into board games, really hardcore gamers, don't play Bridge, because each hand is a little puzzle you need to figure out. It is such a unique game, and again, it's going to take time if you even want to play a little bit of it, but I think it's time that is well deserved, and you're going to get a lot out of learning how to play Bridge. So if you ever have a chance, learn a little bit, because it's a fantastic game and my number 1. So there you go. Those are my top 10 trick-taking games. A mix of board games per se, and also a mix of classic card games. Thanks so much for watching, and again, remember, if you like the information on the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button below, make sure you ring that bell to get notifications, and we'll see you on the next video.